Some news stories from Ethiopia. Firstly, Somali region where splits are emerging in Ogaden National Liberation Front (ONLF), the party which has been trying to start a street movement against Mustafa Umar's government, along with other parties, is seeing internal splits. One faction is holding a meeting which is being covered by Somali state media. Somali regional government is backing this faction, which has split with Ogaden National Mission Front. Secondly, viewers, we have a video clip for you which has been shared by some Ethiopian news outlets. They claim that Sudan and Egypt both are recruiting, training fighters who are going to enter Benishangul Gumuz region of Ethiopia. These fighters speak Arabic. They are not from Ethiopia. They speak Arabic and they carry weapons which are Egyptian weapons. Thirdly, I have been updating you about the plight of Ethiopians trapped, imprisoned in Saudi Arabia. A few hours ago, Dina Mufti, Ethiopian foreign ministry spokesperson, held a press briefing. He spoke about these Ethiopians. Some 35,000 have been registered for evacuation from Saudi Arabia. And lastly, we have a video clip of Ethiopian PM Abiy. People have been speculating about coup in Ethiopia. There could be a coup, that some channels could seize power. PM Abiy could be removed. This clip of PM Abiy is about coup. How does he see the role of security forces? How is he planning to control the security forces? It seems he is very careful about a likely coup, and he is very focused, and he has been planning to control security forces for months, for years, since he took office in 2018. Firstly, viewers, Ogaden National Liberation Front, ONLF, which was an armed group. It fought for several years. Then it turned into a political party. It signed a peace deal with Ethiopian government. Now it is an opposition party in the small region of Ethiopia. The party is going to hold a national assembly, general assembly, not national assembly, because National Election Board of Ethiopia has directed to all political parties that they must complete general assemblies within 1 month, and just 2 days are left. We saw a general assembly of Prosperity Party. Other parties are also holding similar meetings, similar party elections, because it is the demand of National Election Board of Ethiopia. ONLF, Ogaden National Liberation Front, main faction led by Abdirahman, has requested National Election Board of Ethiopia to extend the last date for holding this General Assembly, and it says that it will hold this assembly on the 30th of April because of ongoing drought in Somali region. But one faction has emerged which yesterday held a meeting. This faction is led by Hussein Muhammad Noor. This faction is being backed by Somali regional government. This faction says that it is true ONLF. It held a meeting, then it postponed its meeting. So this faction led by Hussein Muhammad will hold a separate General Assembly, and Abdirahman's ONLF will hold General Assembly on the 30th of April if National Election Board of Ethiopia approved the request of ONLF. So obviously there are no splits. One faction is being backed by Somali regional government. The other faction of Abdirahman is in alliance, you can say, with other opposition parties. We have seen Abdirahman in Kenya, where he met with other opposition parties like newly formed Congress for Somali Cause, CSC, and other Somali region opposition parties. There they tried to form an alliance to start a movement against Mustafa Umar's government. That is why Mustafa Umar's government is backing a new faction in ONLF. Let's see which faction will hold its General Assembly in coming days, and what will National Election Board of Ethiopia do? Will it recognize the General Assembly held by Hussein Muhammad Noor, or General Assembly held by Abdurrahman's faction? That remains to be seen. Secondly, viewers, we saw pictures today from Jigjiga where a prayer was organized by Mustafa Umar's government. Mustafa Umar and government officials, they were seen at Jigjiga Stadium in Somali region. Prayer was organized to ask for God's help to counter, to tackle the ongoing drought in the Somali region. Muslims have this religious practice that in times of drought they organize such prayers. But what I saw at Jigjiga Stadium today, have a look at this picture. You can see some government officials like Mustafa Umar clad in expensive clothing, praying for those who are dying of hunger in the Somali region of Ethiopia. I am not criticizing the religious beliefs, but those who are trapped, those who are dying in the drought-hit areas, this prayer should be held there. They should be part of this prayer. They are the victims, not these Somali region government officials. They are the beneficiaries of the system, but you see that with glasses, with coats, and with expensive clothing, they are there waiting and asking for God's help to come to rescue the people. The people are victims, not the Somali region government officials. Secondly, some pictures and videos are being shared by some news sources in Ethiopia. The pictures show some armed men, and it is being said that these armed men are on Sudan-Ethiopia border. They have been trained and they are being sent into Benishangul Gumuz region of Ethiopia from Sudan. In the video, you can see that these people are speaking Arabic. And it is said that their weapons are not Ethiopian weapons, they are Egyptian weapons made in Egypt. And these armed infiltrators are backed by Sudan and Egypt, and they'll enter BG to create law and order situation. We do know that there are some groups in BG which has backing from Sudan. Benishangul People Liberation Movement, BPLM, has long been accused of having the backing of Sudan. It had some basis in Sudan. It's the first time that we are hearing such accusations. Sudan and Egypt, they've been trying to stop GERD construction. We know that for years they've been trying to back insurgency in BG, and armed groups operating in BG, they had backing of these countries. No doubt about that. But the attempts could not succeed. GERD's second filling completed, third filling going to start in coming months. So the armed factions could not deliver. They tried to create unrest, but they were not in a position to sabotage the project of GERD. There is deployment of all regional forces in BG. That is why, because there are foreign elements involved in BG. There is deployment of SNNPR forces, Sidama forces, Gambela forces, Amhara regional forces, Ethiopian National Defense Force as well. So all regional forces, Ethiopian National Defense Force, they're trying to protect GERD site. But The news source says that new infiltrators are being sent from neighboring countries into BG. Watch this small video clip, then other news stories.
تكبير الله تكبير الله تعليل لا اله الا الله تعليل لا اله الا الله شعارنا لا اله الا الله محمد رسول الله.
Thirdly, viewers, an Ethiopian delegation is due to visit Saudi Arabia in coming days. We saw a similar visit a few weeks ago when several Ethiopian ministers visited Saudi Arabia in connection with imprisonment, detention of tens of thousands of Ethiopians in Saudi prisons. Dina Mufti, former spokesperson, just a short while ago confirmed that 35,000 Ethiopian prisoners in Saudi Arabia have been registered and they'll be evacuated in coming days. Before that, a high-level delegation will visit Saudi Arabia. Let's see. We have been hearing about these evacuations in the past few weeks. But so far, we haven't seen any solid movement towards this move. But government says it's focused and it wants to repatriate the citizens, and in coming weeks, the process will start. Lastly, viewers, PM Abiy seems to be very careful about any coup attempt in Ethiopia. A video clip is being shared in which he compares Ethiopian security situation with what happened in Egypt. He said that Egyptian ruler, Egyptian elected head Morsi was overthrown because he did not reform security sector. And we saw Abdul Fattah al-Sisi seize power there. So he says that Ethiopian government is focused on security sector reform so that there is no such thoughts of coup in security forces. Watch this clip in which he is talking about security sector reform in Ethiopia. Thank you for watching.
ግብጽ ሙርሲ በከፍተኛ የህዝብ ድምጽ ነው የመጣው። በህዝብ ድምጽ ነው የመጣው። የመጀመሪያው ዲሞክራሲያዊ ፕሬዝዳንት ነው ይባላል። በምርጫ የመጣ ህዝብ ሙቭመንት አድርጎ እንደኛ በምርጫ መጣው። በምርጫ ሲመጣና በሆያ ሆየው ሲቀመጥ የሴኩሪቲ ሰርቪስ ሪፎርም ፕራዮሪቲ እንደሚገባው አውቆ ስላልሰራ ሴኩሪቲው በላው። ህዝብ ደግፎታል። ምርጫ አሸንፏል። ማስ ሙቭመንቱ እንደምታውቁት ከሱ ጋር ነበር። ግን በሴኩሪቲ ሰርቪስ ሪፎርም በቂ ስራ ካልተሰራ እነዛ ለውጦች ይበላሉ። ከሙርሲ ተማር። ሴኩሪቲ ሰርቪስ ሪፎርም ያስፈልጋል። ካልተገራ በማንኛውም ሰዓት መፈንቅለ መንግስት ሊል ይችላል። ዲሞክራሲያዊ ምርጫን ሊያስተጓጉል ይችላል። አንደርማይን አይደረግም። ተቋሙን ሪፎርም እያደረጉ መምራት ማረቅ ያስፈልጋል የሚለውን